more beef like that.
All the beef. I'll tell you what's real beef. Scottie Pippen. Were you following Scottie Pippen's beef?
I saw the title and I was like, what the hell? What's going on with Pippen and Jordan?
Yes. Well, I mean, look, I told you that amazingly, Michael Che got beef with Tim Dillon just as Che was dropping a Netflix special that he wanted to get some eyes on. Amazingly. Well, guess what? Mm-hmm. Even though the documentary came out a year and a half ago, and the documentary was about a bunch of games that happened 20 years ago, Scottie Pippen's got beef with Jordan, and him talking about it happens to coincide directly with a brand new book you can buy today. The book is called Michael Jordan Should Suck It by Scottie Pippen. And basically, Scottie Pippen is very unhappy with the way The Last Dance came out. He thought it was not a fair portrayal. He thought, wait till you hear this, hot dog. Scottie Pippen thought that The Last Dance was going to be about the whole team.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't understand why it was just about Jordan. This is what Pippen said. Pippen is unhappy with his depiction in the ESPN Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, which aired in the spring of 2020 while the NBA was on its COVID-19 hiatus. He feels slighted. He wants to settle the scores in his book. Quote, "He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried," Pippen wrote of Jordan's role in The Last Dance, adding, "Now here I was in my mid-50s, 17 years since my final game, watching us being demeaned once again. Living through it the first time was insulting enough."
It just seems like that's how Jordan always was.
Jordan taking credit for what Jordan did, I don't understand the problem. Scottie goes, "Michael was wrong. We didn't win 6 championships because he got on guys. We won in spite of his getting on guys." Oh, I didn't realize, Scottie, that the Bulls were able to win championships in spite of what Michael Jordan was doing, not thanks to what Michael Jordan was doing. Oh, very, very interesting. He says, "We won because we played team basketball." That's right, I forgot. It was definitely the whole team, which hadn't been the case my first 2 seasons when Doug Collins was our coach. That's what was special about playing for the Bulls, the camaraderie we established with one another. Not that we felt blessed to be on the same team with the immortal Michael Jordan, which, by the way, you want to talk about condescending. How about you don't think Michael Jordan's really immortal? You don't mean that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If he actually thinks Michael Jordan's literally immortal?
No, if Michael Jordan was immortal.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. But that's what I'm saying. That's not what Pippen is saying. Pippen is like, "Oh, Michael Jordan's so great. Michael Jordan's so great." He's not so great. That's what Pippen is saying.
I mean, look, I don't know about all the...
Listen to this one. Listen to this. "I may go as far as to say Mike ruined basketball," Pippen said. "In the 80s on playgrounds, you'd have everyone moving the ball around, passing to help the team. That stopped in the 90s. Kids wanted to be like Mike. Well, Mike didn't want to pass, didn't want to rebound, or defend the best player. He wanted everything done for him." What the hell? This guy got to play with Michael Jordan.
The nerve.
The nerve indeed. Where is this? I forgot to full screen these clips, but wait till you hear this one specifically. This one got to me. This one was not fair. Listen to Pippen talking to SiriusXM NBA.
That is pretty remarkable what you did. Again, I'm not saying you're doing it for people to give you credit, but do you feel that not enough was made of that moment? Because there you were playing hurt in a deciding game against a great Utah Jazz team.
Here's my breakdown on that. I'm going to ask you this.
All right.
Is it easier to play with a herniated disc or to play with the flu?
They always say the worst injury to have is a bad back.
This guy.
Well, I don't see many bad I do see flu games. Flu. Come on.
Come on. Scottie Pippen is disrespecting the flu game. That's the stuff of legend. The Michael Jordan flu game, and Scottie Pippen is going like that was nothing? Don't take the flu game away from us, Scottie. What's wrong with you? All people, I will never understand this about human beings. And I know he's just trying to sell books. Scottie Pippen is half working too. I know he's just trying to move some books, right? But especially coming off The Last Dance, even the people that didn't like Jordan because he was an asshole were ready to forgive him because we all got to witness the greatness that was Michael Jordan. All people.
Also, like, no,
Go ahead.
no one's going to enjoy The Last Dance if it was just about team camaraderie.
Nobody wants to see.
Boring.
No. You know what people want to see? And I took that personally. That's what people want to see.
I want to see Michael Jordan going to Las Vegas and picking up Dennis Rodman.
How can you not? Yeah. And then, I love, the internet was like, we're not having this besmirchment from
Slander.
Scottie Pippen. So they started digging up all these videos of Jordan, like, after big games, celebrating and thanking Scottie. And then thanking the team and not being selfish when and it's like, I'm sure that Scottie had other experiences, but I just love that they're like, no, not on my watch, bro. Not on my watch. All people want to do is appreciate Scottie Pippen. But what people want to do is appreciate Scottie Pippen within the context of their love for Michael Jordan. That's what people want to do. People want to appreciate them together. And Scottie Pippen won't allow that. Why does Scottie Pippen make it so difficult to love Scottie Pippen? Why does he? I mean, talk about needing credit. Let Michael Jordan have all the credit. If all you get is Michael Jordan's runoff credit, that's still more than anybody gets. Everybody wants to love Scottie Pippen within the context of loving Michael Jordan. Scottie.
Right-hand man.
Exactly. All you have to do is allow it. Can you imagine Robin showing up and being like, Batman sucks? You know what people would say? Fuck you, Robin. They're there for Batman, okay? And Robin is a great partner. He looks fantastic in those tiny green pants. But ultimately,
Robin got a little bit of an ego and tried to go solo and became Nightwing. And who
Nightwing
cares about
sucks.
Nightwing? No one talks about Nightwing.
They didn't even make that movie. They teased it, and people were like, you don't have to. They did. Remember Joey Gordon-Levitt shows up, and he's like, oh, maybe I'll be Nightwing. And people were like, I mean, it was cool for the scene, but we don't need it.
It's over now.
Yeah.
We're done.
Just make another Batman. And they were like, okay, we'll make a couple more Batmans. Yeah, I mean, the idea that you can't just accept that Michael Jordan is just in a different stratosphere. And this is how I know, by the way. This is how I know that this is a bigger issue for Scottie. That this is not just, we don't understand the real Michael Jordan. Because then he said this. He was talking to GQ Sports about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, you could probably argue, is in that Jordan caliber, right? If anybody is a Jordan level quarterback, Tom Brady's in that, at least in the conversation. Is Tom Brady the Michael Jordan of football? We can at least discuss, right? I don't even like sports, and that's a discussion that I will merit. Here's what Scottie said. It's hard to place Tom Brady at the top of the NFL. No, it isn't. But Scottie thinks it is. You can't really put him at the top. I don't understand. Okay. Scottie Pippen said, even though he's won a lot of championships, there are almost 70 players on each team. So is he playing on every side of the football? Is he on kickoff? Is he on the punt returns? Because if he ain't playing all them roles, then he got to give credit to his team. That's not about Tom Brady, bro. That has nothing to do with Tom Brady or any team that Tom Brady has ever played for. That's not about the Buccaneers. That's not about the Patriots. That's not about Brady. This is about the Bulls. That quote is Michael Jordan and the Bulls all over again. He can't give Tom Brady his flowers because he's worried that he would kind of be giving Michael Jordan his flowers.
This is just how many hot takes can I fit in my media tour?
No, it's more than that, hot dog. He's got a specific thing here. Because Scottie Pippen is great on a team level, right? Everybody plays a part on a team. Scottie Pippen is great on a team level. I mean, technically it's a team sport. Everybody would be great. But that's where Scottie Pippen's talent lies. Scottie Pippen is this amazing tool that you put in your tool belt. But by itself, you're like, the fuck am I going to do with an Allen wrench? I don't have any screws that match this Allen wrench. This is useless. But with everything else in your tool belt, maybe you could, But Michael
I would
Jordan,
go as far to say he's a B-plus player.
I mean, that's not what we're talking about here. Michael Jordan is a hammer. Even if you left your whole tool belt behind. If you got a hammer, and it's a hammer with, the thing on the end of it, so you can pull nails out with the other side. You could do a lot with a hammer. If something is stuck, you hit it with a hammer. It'll probably loosen up. There's a nail coming out, you flip the hammer around, pop it right out. Tom Brady?
And break things.
Yes. Yes. Tom Brady is a hammer. A very, very valuable tool. Scottie Pippen, box cutter. At some point, it's going to be really useful to have. You couldn't have gotten the job done without that box cutter. But ultimately, when you're looking at all the nails that got hammered in, you're really fucking glad you had that hammer. And then the box cutter
You probably could have gotten the job done with the hammer too. The backside of the hammer.
I mean,
you could have, if you had to,
You don't want to say it. The lines might not have been quite so even.
No, but
You could have made do. you could have made do. It wouldn't have looked as smooth. It wouldn't have been as perfect. But you can't hammer a nail in with a box cutter. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I get it.
And that's okay. If you're the greatest box cutter ever, just be like, look, I'm so glad I found Jordan. I'm so glad that we worked well together. I'm so glad I could compliment what he did. I'm so glad we could make history together. Here's a book about what it was like being around Michael Jordan. I'm interested. But can you imagine how many less people would have watched that docuseries if it had been about the Bulls team? If it had been about all the Bulls instead of just Jordan?
The chemistry and the passing and just the plays.
The plays. That's what it's about, the plays. There was plenty of Bull stuff in there. Plenty. He got mad because Jordan thought he was selfish because remember Scottie Pippen was having some contract issues and wasn't showing up to games all that much in the beginning of that season. He didn't like that they showed him that way. But you know what? Kind of seems like he might be an asshole. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say for sure.